Tennessee Republican congressman and member of the House Oversight Committee. There he is, Congressman Tim Burchett. Congressman, let's get right to it. What did you make of Michael Cohen on the stand? Because, boy, there were a lot of inconsistencies, and especially on the cross-examination, he got hammered.
Yes, ma'am. He's a convicted liar, and that's what you got. And you're basing your case on this. I think from indications I've gotten that you probably have. It is New York. I think that we'll probably see a hung jury. There's jurors on there with some common sense that realize this guy's lying. Just the holes in his testimony, everything about it was, to me, rang untrue. I think President Trump is correct that it probably will be next week. I think Wednesday or Thursday sometime. But I think that we will see a hung jury, and I think that will. Then they move on to the next one that they're going after him on. It's just it's really a disgrace of our judicial system to think that.
Do you believe he'll take the stand or mount some sort of defense? Do you think he needs to?
I think he probably wants to, but I think his attorneys are advising against it. I just don't see him needing to get up there, ma'am, honestly, because it's with Cohen's testimony. The only person believing Cohen right now is Rosie O'Donnell. And I understand they have quite the chummy relationship right now, texting back and forth. So, no, I don't see any point at all for President Trump to take the stand. I think that the evidence that's been put forth is bogus. The whole thing about this, I mean, the American public, the lamestream media just keeps hammering on a payoff case. It's not even about that. It's the whole thing has just been trumped up. The statute of limitations, as you know, was changed. The legislature in New York changed everything so that they could go after Trump. This thing is just ridiculous from top to bottom. And, most Americans are not even following it because they realize just the bogus nature of this thing.
In the middle of all this, what's been incredible, Congressman, and you've seen this, I mean, one day after court, he goes to the bodega in Harlem. He gets a rousing applause. Then he goes to a construction site in Manhattan. And now we're hearing, it just came out a few hours ago, you may have heard this, that he's going to be holding his first rally in New York. This is since 2016. It's going to be in South Bronx. What do you think that message is behind that? Because that's pretty extraordinary.
I think it just shows the bogus nature of this thing and that America understands what's going on. There's two systems of justice. There's the elitist ruling class, and then there's the rest of us. And we're not buying it. New Jersey, I think that was a stroke of genius. He had 100,000 people. These are working people, ma'am. The union vote has always been taken for granted by the Democrats. And the thing is, all the union men and women I know, look, they're hardworking. They drink a little beer. They go out and hunt and fish on the weekends. They love their wife and kids. They want to be left alone. They're not buying all this bogus woke stuff, and they're being taken for granted. And same with minorities, black folks, Hispanics. They're all fed up with this thing that's being fed to them. This is not their America. This is not the America they grew up in. And this is definitely not the Democrat Party. That was in my case, was one set of my grandparents. So, they've left them high and dry. And that is exactly why the president just keeps preaching this far left stuff, because that is his only base that he has left. They know if they can't bring those people to the polls, they are sunk. And that's why his agenda is shifted so far to the left, even farther than we even imagined.
Yeah, it has certainly shifted very far. You talked about this sort of two system of justice, Congressman. And of course, I think about while Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg is wasting millions of dollars going after former President Trump. In the meantime, he's also drafting a sweetheart plea deal for all 6 of these illegal migrants, many of them from the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. They were caught here, as you can see on camera, assaulting 2 police officers this year. This is an astounding sort of juxtaposition. You see what's going on here. This video went viral around the world. One of the guys, by the way, who got out, then reoffended again for shoplifting, I think within a few days. And these guys are getting just sort of a slap on the wrist. and yet we're spending money there going after President Trump. What does this say to you about American system of justice?
Well, these Soros-backed DAs and systems of justice are not working, and that is exactly why people in New York, New Jersey, your northern traditionally Democrat states are either leaving in droves or staying there and fighting the good fight. And they are sick of this kind of system of a two-tiered system of justice. The police officers in Tennessee are respected, loved, and revered, yet they're demonized by these gangs and things, and then they're allowed to walk. It just ticks people off, is all I can say. Anger is going to drive a lot of people to the polls, and I hope they remember it all the way up and down the ballot.
You know, speaking of anger, before we let you go, Congressman, another big issue, of course, is Israel. And I know you're a big supporter of Israel. This president, according to reports, is withholding intelligence. He blatantly said he's withholding aid. What does that say to you? That is an astounding moment. And I think a lot of people, to your point, on Election Day, especially those who support Israel, are shocked and are either going to vote for President Trump or certainly going to stay home if they were planning to vote for Biden, because they are outraged that he would withhold intel to one of our greatest allies.
Well, my hope and wish, of course, is that they vote for Donald J. Trump. But I think it shows just who this president is in bed with and what he will do. He has no moral compass whatsoever just to get elected, just to go to his far left Marxist or anarchist based. I think they've even left the Marxist. They're going to anarchist. And by supporting this radical agenda all across our country, you know, he's trying to go down the middle of the road, and ma'am, he'll get swiped on both sides. And he is not, whoever his advisors are, he needs to fire them and just walk out and start listening to what America's saying, because Israel is our ally. They are our friend. They want these hostages returned. And if you've seen what they've done, they're returning hostages, but they're dead. These people are savages. They're animals. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they're funding things in this country, and America is fed up. We can't take any more of this.
Yeah, I think people are really shaking their head. It is an astounding moment. Congressman, really great to have you here. We always love having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, and I hope you have a very good weekend, and tell everybody to vote. Vote like your country depends on it. And thank y'all for putting the truth out.